Running a Fever, episode 74, Temptation. So how do we battle temptation? Is a temptation that keeps us away from maybe working hard enough, whether it's at work or in our personal lives, using our time wisely, spending time with our families, or the usual health temptations like eating the wrong foods, eating too much, not exercising enough, not sleeping enough, etc. So how do we face these temptations? Because we all face them. Well, I think there's some things that I can't control, even about myself. It's, I think, an illusion to think that a human being has full control of everything in his life, or even the things that have to do with him personally. Jesus faced temptation all the time, and specifically, there was a time when the devil, Satan, tempted him by saying, "You could save yourself. I will give you all the world, and all you have to do is renounce God and claim me as your Lord." Trinitarian concerns aside, when Jesus was on earth as a human, he had everything that we have, except that we are not divine and he is. He was killable, obviously. He could be hurt, obviously. He was scourged so much that he could not carry the cross the whole way, and his body was damaged enough that he died, physically died. He also had the same limitations, and these were a choice by God to give himself these weaknesses. That's how we identify with him. But he didn't go through that temptation alone. And he had the same urges and feelings that we do as humans. He had God with him. God was with him the whole time. God is with us always, even when we face the battle of spiritual warfare against evil. So the same thing is true, I think, in all of these temptation issues that we face. It's important. Part of my daily reflection every morning is reading a book called Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. And the overarching theme, the theme of almost every reading in this book, and there's one for every day of the year, is the presence of God in our daily lives. God is always with us. We only have to recognize his presence. And that is what improves our lives. Temptation that I can't handle, there's nothing that God can't handle. I think the key in my life anyway is to connect with God the best I can. And that is a spiritual life. It's part of my life that I'm always trying to improve on, just as I'm trying to improve on the other aspects of my life, including my physical health. Spirituality is a part of that as well. And but what are some things we can do other than that long-term process and recognizing the presence of God? Well, God has blessed us with some sort of functions that happen in our body. And I've talked about habit a lot on this podcast. Habit is a big deal. So that's one of the ways that you can make temptation less attractive. Whatever I do on a regular basis, I'm programming myself to do that. And I want routine. I want those same things because I'm programmed to do that. So if I, every day after work or 3 times a week, however often I do it, I go home, get my workout clothes, and head out to work out. Then that's what mode I'm going to be in, and it's going to take more effort to vary from that than it is to continue with that habit. Same thing with eating. Gotten in the habit of counting my calories. I've gotten in the habit of eating 6 meals a day, and those are the automatic things that I do. When I get up, I don't, what do I know to do? Well, I put some berries in a bag. I can take to work to have in my oatmeal, which I keep at work. I throw a couple yogurts or a piece of fruit in the bag and a frozen container of chili or whatever I'm having for lunch. Maybe some crackers. And that's what I take to work. I'm just going to automatically pretty much do that. My mom she traveled to work, and she had a kind of a long drive for a while when I was growing up. She used to say she could crawl in the back of her car and go to sleep, and her car would still go to work. It was that kind of thing. That's habit right there. The other side of that is true. If I get in the habit like currently, there's a bad habit that I have, and that is watching videos on my computer when I'm eating. Howdy. Howdy. Howdy.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Thank you. Must be doing some good because I'm feeling the effects of this right now. So, it's a problem I have. I'm eating my meal, and so I can't really do anything with my hands. And I'm alone most of the time when I'm at home, so there's nobody to talk to. So I'm sitting in front of the computer watching, an old TV show or movie or something. And why is this bad? I don't know. It used to make me eat more. And I don't know that I'm eating more. It does make me eat slower, which is maybe a good thing sometimes. But then once I finish eating, I've got the rest of the show to watch. It usually doesn't take very long, although a half hour sometimes works. I guess the bottom line is it kind of takes a lot of time out of my day. If I have a weekend day, I might spend several hours watching videos while I'm eating my meals throughout the day. So that leaves less time to do more productive or even more fun things. So habit is a big one, spirituality is a big one. Taking care of my physical health. Now, this is something that, I've known for quite a while, because particularly with sleep. Sleep is a hugely important health factor. And the last couple of nights, for some reason, I have just awakened at 2 o'clock in the morning, pretty much wide awake, just kind of jittery. I don't know what's going on. I'm not drinking a lot of caffeine before bed, but when you only get a couple hours sleep, it weakens a lot of things. It really does. It's a lot of stuff that depends on sleep. And one of them, I think, is, you're more stressed. And I have to give Michael Matthews credit for this stress aspect. He went into, the fight or flight response. The stress is basically in that same vein. We have a temptation we have to deal with. Lack of sleep causes stress, and exercise helps relieve stress. I believe that watching TV or using a computer is a stressful activity. When you're relaxing, it might be better to do something away from that visual stimuli or stimulation. But stress is a big deal. It's a very unhealthy. Watching tragedy TV, because it's nothing but bad news. That's a stressful activity. Don't make a habit of that. That will wear you down. Well, speaking of being worn down, I am feeling it. I'm here at the private fields that I've talked about and had pictures of. They're beautiful now, actually. Snap a picture of these daisies. gonna have too many pictures, really. I say sometimes that I'm gonna post more pictures, but I only usually post 2.75 mile point, which means we only have 1.25 miles to go. So we've already traveled 4 miles, and a couple of weeks ago that was all I was doing on a daily basis, on it for every workout anyway. But yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the back pain, not feeling the knee, which I'm really happy about. Hoping that I can get to the point where I can squat. I mean, it was the first time in probably 30 years that I've tried a squat, so it might be expected to have some problems. But yeah, I'm feeling a little numbness in my right side, and not feeling the arm pain so much. Feeling a little something in my back though. It's got to be the hottest part of the day right now. I'm not really out of breath. I haven't been going that fast. I've been slowing down a little bit too. But I'm just in so much better shape. And it's good to look back on this last 7-8 months of trying to make a complete health turnaround. And so much has happened, so many benefits, so many blessings, so many rewards from what I've done. And, you know, back on Temptation, laziness is kind of what we call it, but it's just basically getting in the habit of inactivity, like I was when I started this journey, and I describe myself as sedentary. I describe myself as active now, you know, I mean, when there's somewhere I have to describe my personality traits, somewhere I describe my lifestyle as active. I exercise almost every day, and that's a transformation right there. Howdy. Yeah, and of course once you go from, I said this early on, once you go from the couch to the trail, that's an infinite percentage change right there. From nothing to something. So I've made that transformation. My body has transformed quite a bit. My health has transformed quite a bit. And I've still got quite a ways to go. But during that time that I was out for the knee injury, you know, I could have easily gotten in the habit of not working out and just never returned. And that's why I want to talk about another way to battle temptation, and that is to look at the big picture. To look at the big picture. See it all the way through to the end. You know, if you're thinking about having 12 beers, think about the last time you had 12 beers. What did you do? What did things look like when you woke up the next morning? What did you feel like? And I do that all the time. Somebody asked me this week, very considerate, you know, sometimes at work you bring food to work to share with people. It's just something you do. It's a nice thing. And we have a remote worker who comes into town, you know, once every couple of months or so. Not that often. But when she does, she usually tries one day to bring in breakfast. And so she did that this time, and she asked me, it's kind of funny, she said, so what do you supermodels eat for breakfast? And at first I didn't know what she was asking, but it was cute the way she asked it. I didn't know if she was just, you know, making conversation because she, you know, had known all about, you know, my weight loss and everything. So it's kind of, you know, I told her, you know, oatmeal. You know? But then I realized that she was, you know, what would you eat? You know, because a lot of times the stuff brought in, you know, donuts or whatever, I just won't eat them, you know, no big deal. I just pass on it. And why? Why do I do that now? Because I've gotten to where I don't just think about, well, do I want to eat that? Is it tasty enough for me to eat? I don't just think about that. Am I hungry? I think about, how many calories, because I've been counting calories every day since at least, January something, February maybe, months. Every single day I've been counting up my calories. And so I know that if I'm trying to lose weight, I need to have a calorie deficit. If I'm trying to stay the same weight, I need to have the same calories that I burn. So I look at that donut and I say, well, can I eat just one? If I eat two, maybe that's going to be 600-800 calories. Then what do I got to do to make the rest of the day work out? Am I just eating another shake for lunch and a shake for dinner? And to some extent I think about the health aspect. Is this a healthy food? And that sort of thing. So, donuts are a lot of fat, a lot of sugar, just really concentrated. And, every now and then I'll have one. It's not that I don't like them, but they're just too expensive in terms of calories. So I think into the future at the results. I think it all the way through. That's how you handle temptation. If I don't work out today, which is my regular scheduled workout, what do I have to do? Well, I have to fit it in somewhere else. I've already got my schedule worked out to where I've got plenty of time today. I don't have to scramble to get out and get a shower and get changed and all that stuff. So that's what I think. Well, I need to get this in. If I can get any extra calorie burn in, not that I'm trying to do that, but if I do, that means it makes it easier for the rest of the day. It's like saving money. It makes life easier financially in the future. You're saving up your calories. So that's the third big way of fighting temptation. Number one, get some help, spiritual. Maintain a good spiritual life and bring in the all-powerful to help you out. Because I just can't control myself a lot of times. But he can, if I let him. Got free will, but I gotta let him. Anyway, spiritual and habit and thinking it through. And avoiding stress. I guess I talked about the stress aspect. By keeping yourself fit, exercising, not watching too much TV or being on the computer, taking it easy. So there you have it. I really hope this has been helpful to you in your battles with temptation. Until next time, keep the fever, and I'll talk to you next time.
This is the Padua Podcast Network. PaduaMedia.com.